where are you at mentally? Like how much fun have you had so far with all this?
Honestly, it's been the best time of my life. I mean, as an actor, I couldn't have asked for a more incredible character to play, a more amazing story to tell. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I used to sit in my room and go, oh, gosh, I want to play something out of this world. I would just, I'm like, God, can you please just send me something that I could really sink my teeth into, and that it's just, that can show like all the weirdness that I have inside, the passion that I have inside. And I think that this show has helped me do that so much. And I'm just forever grateful to it. And I still pinch myself, and I'm like, I watched the show, I've been watching this season 4, and I'm like, holy crap, am I a part of this? This is fantastical. I mean, all you ever want to do is be, I don't know, in magic. And I feel like that's kind of what I feel when I watch Doom Patrol.
I mean, it doesn't get more creative than having the chance to play, like, I've lost count at this point how many personalities she has, but like let's say like a 700
64.
person, yeah, 64. There we go. There's so much you get to do with that. Now, since you've gone 4 years into this and gotten to explore so many aspects of this character, like, I mean, in between seasons, do you jump into the comics to see more of like what else is there to explore about Crazy Jane?
I love that the writers and the creator of the show have stuck so closely to the actual comic books. And that omnibus is like literally a Bible for me. I mean, I remember first starting the show, and I had like the thick omnibus, the Grant Morrison series, and I would take it everywhere I would travel. And it has been such a great guide for me. But really, what I've discovered is that as the artist, and working with my incredible castmates, I've been able to let go and kind of see what happens, and take my cues off of that. But I mean, we're incredibly lucky to have such an incredible work to be guided from. Sometimes you have to create a character from scratch, which is also fun. But we had so much material to play from.
Well, this season has definitely been very emotional for Jane. I mean, it's very much, I feel like, because I feel like each season is always so different, not just because of the different personality, but also just in terms of theme for you as in general. We're seeing Jane essentially getting to grow up, as well as seeing Kay doing it. Because this will run after episode 6, so I've seen all of part 1 now. I'm craving part 2. But so how much fun has that been for you as an actor to get to this specific territory of the character, and what lies ahead for part 2? Because I mean, you all end these episodes so insanely every time that I'm just like, I don't know how much further can they go. So
I
what's coming
know.
up?
Well, for me, I mean, it's been such an honor to play such a complex character. And first 3 seasons, I were so intense for me as the actor, but also in Jane is such a complex character. I mean, you needed this much time to sort of like explore how she works, what kind of world she's living in. And it's so now we're hitting season 4, and we've seen the benefits of all of that storytelling. Now we're seeing her get to digging deeper into her own persona, who she is, and her personal growth. And for me, that has been so much fun, because thus far she's been so tunnel vision, and it's hurt her so much to block her own feelings, to block her own needs, and just say, I am here for Kay, and that is my sole purpose. Even though there's this world inside of her, literally like the underground is. And then even beyond that, her subconscious is like, it's wild. And for her to hold all of that in and not let it out, and have to be a rock and sort of this strong fortress for Kay, I mean, she was ready to burst, and me as the actor was just bursting at the seams. And so I really wanted to show the audience a different side of Jane, and show them a little more resolve, because that is what was happening naturally.
Because this is such a huge journey now for Jane, as she's discovering so much more about herself and putting herself as the focus. By the time we get to the end of season 4, do you see that being like, will she have figured more of these things out by season 4 as end? Or do you see this, like, this is maybe like, let's say the show goes on for 4 more years, the next half of the show.
Oh,
like, do
right.
you see this going on? Like, because this is such a huge step for her as a character.
This is just the beginning for Jane. I mean, I can see her story going on and on and on. We're just hitting like the tip of the iceberg. I think there's so much life for her to live, so much more discovery. I mean, she's just learning to walk, So I think there's a lot more story there. But I do see in this season a lot more growth than I've seen for her in the previous seasons. This is definitely like a big leap from what she had experienced before.
Well, as we get into part 2, whenever it might arrive, what can you tease about? The butt apocalypse. I still can't believe this is a term we're using in 2023. I love it. And the Mortis threat. Like, where does Jane fall into that? And what can you tease without getting into trouble? Of course.
Oh gosh, the butt apocalypse. I mean, it's just. I'll just tease you this: we're never gonna get away from the butts. I think the butts. That's the thing, right? It's just like, the minute we get rid of the butts, they keep coming back. And I think that is just so true for the world and for, our life, as a society. I think that's something that we're always going to have to fight off. Zombie butts is just a huge problem. I think that you see, for Jane anyway, and for all of the Doomies, just even more fire, even more passion, tenacity than ever. I think that obviously facing their own mortality, but after learning so much about themselves and each other and what they mean to each other, there's just an even bigger incentive to want to be alive and to want to see this through. I mean, I think you saw them, in different stages of their lives, so depressed, so ready to give up on themselves and give up on the world and who cares, blah, blah, blah. But underneath all of that, once you see the light, even a little bit of light, you're not going to want to let that go. So I see just so much passion in all of the characters, and I think that's going to be really exciting for the viewers.
Well, speaking of exciting, because one of the episodes I'm looking forward to in the second half of the season is, of course, the musical. I'm when superhero shows or superhero movies, they do musicals, I always love it. What can you tease anything about your role in that musical? Because Doom Patrol does so many things wonderful, but music is definitely one of those aspects. I definitely want to know, like, if there's anything you can tease about it.
Doom Patrol was definitely gearing up to do a musical episode because the show is so musical anyway. Like you just said, I love that you caught that from the show, and that's one of the things that I love about Doom Patrol is that that it's exploration through music and the way that its story is told through music as well, without us breaking into song. And now actually us getting to do that, it's just like another facet of like who we are and what the show is about. How can we push this fantasy? How can we, stretch ourselves as storytellers? And I think that it's going to be such a fun episode. It's going to be such a fun episode for everyone to watch. And it's just very fitting for Doom. So it won't be out of the ordinary or out of character at all.
No, for sure. I mean, I'm all with my kind of mantra with Doom Patrol is, if it's weird but it's unexpected, then you should expect that at that point. Why we love the show so much. I don't know what you can say about the future of the show in terms of, because everyone's of course always asking, is there season 5? Is there any updates you can provide us about? Have you guys heard anything?
I have no idea. But then again, when have we ever heard? I mean, literally every year we are like we're the last to know. It's never kind of a guaranteed thing, which I think is very Doom Patrol of it all. It's very doom-ish to be like, you may or may not come back. And I feel like we've experienced that every year, and this year is no different. Obviously I love the show. I would love for it to come back. I think Jane has so much more exploring to do. But I think it just remains to be seen. And if it doesn't, I think that the show has given us so much. I mean, there's still so much to nibble on there. Many years to come. I think it's that kind of show. It's timeless.
Oh, definitely. I mean, look, they took some, Doom Patrol for a lot of people weren't, it was a bit obstacle in the beginning, but look what you guys have been able to create, you the actors, the writers and the producers and everything. I mean, this will live on forever. Again, people will discover the show for years to come. And hopefully this is definitely not the end. If there is a season 5, is there anything on Diane's bucket list for Jane that you're still hoping to see come to fruition that maybe didn't happen this season?
I'm just looking for more moments of her being herself. I think that there's like a new I think there's a new version of her and Kay to explore, not so parental and child, more like comrades. And I'd like to see a little bit more of that. Like how does one really work together with your inner child, or how does one work with your little girl or your little boy or your little self, who's developing as you develop, as they discover new things about themselves, you discover new things about yourself. I mean, and you've seen that throughout the seasons, but I think I really want to see a little bit more of that. I think.
What should we be expecting from Wallace Sage, or Wally, as you guys are saying? Because that, y'all, like I said, you guys do cliffhangers and ending really well on the show, but this Wally dude, he's freaking me out. So what do we need to know? How worried should we be?
No way! I'm not telling you. I can't. I think that's oh my God, Wally Sage is such an incredible character. I'm so happy that he's on this season. I can't wait for you guys to see more. I mean, he's definitely a perplexing character and such a special one at that. I can't say any more other than that. I want you to watch.
Yeah, no, of course I will watch. I will definitely watch. And I mean, listen, I like even if because I watch this episode in advance, I still watch it on Thursday afternoon just to see it with the rest of the world. So, no, I can't wait to see what you guys have in store for part 2. But again, Diane, it's been an honor to chat with you. Again, I'm glad. Thank you for recognizing me from all those before the world shut down and became crazy. And again, congrats on the incredible work you've done with this character. Again, like there's not a lot of Janes out there that can do what you do, and with all these personalities and this mythology that we get to follow year after year. I mean, again, this show is timeless, and so is your character. So again, congrats on what has been an amazing ride, and I hope to see more of it. And hopefully we'll chat in the near future.
It was lovely chatting with you. Thank you so much, and thank you for loving the show. And it's so great to see you again.
Likewise. Well, have a good one, and I will see you in the future.
Okay. See you in the future.